I have recorded and look forward to watching this weekend. What everybody's been telling me is a spectacular documentary. HBO's Magic and Bird, A Courtship of Rivals. With Kevin here tonight, it's a perfect opportunity to discuss the Larry and Magic relationship. The folks at HBO have been kind enough to provide us with a clip which gives us a glimpse of Bird we've rarely seen, speaking about the death of his father.
Meanwhile, by that winter, his father's demons had taken him to an even darker place.
By this point, Joe and Georgia were divorced, and he was behind in his payments to the family. The police came by, and of course they all knew him. So Joe said, hey, I need a few hours to get my affairs together before you take me away. So he called Georgia and he said, you guys will be better off without me, and I'm going to take my life. And he put the phone down and he killed himself. He shot himself.
When Dad passed, it hurt Larry. I mean, that was his best friend. It's gone now. But Larry didn't show it a lot.
He just didn't say much. He just kind of held it within. I've never heard him speak out about it at all.
I was mad when I heard about it, and I was madder after the funeral because I thought he sort of cut out on us during a tough time. But he went through a lot in his life. He did what he had to do.
Well, that is powerful. You know Larry so well. And I know you've seen some of the documentary at this point. What do you make of the way Larry's opened up in this?
It's really something, because I think what you see there and with Larry, and people get a glimpse of what we saw all the time with Larry. Larry's a very personable guy, very funny. You tell people Larry's got a great sense of humor, they look at you like, you gotta be kidding me. He's hilarious. Larry's really got a great sense of humor. He went through some tough things early in his life, and I tell you, that he very seldom talked about any of that stuff. His brothers were around. It was good to see his brother again on tape. Hadn't seen him in years. Right. And they had a tight family, but that kind of stuff is just those wounds are very, very deep, and I'm sure that had a big effect on him. But Larry really never talked about that, and it's nice in this documentary that he's able to talk about some things. It amazed me too that he and Magic had that deep of a that he watched him that much, because Larry didn't say much about it. He wanted to beat LA. Now believe me, when we played him, it was personal. He wanted to beat him. And I think there was always those demons from Michigan State and Indiana State. But I tell you what, it wasn't. I never knew it was that deep with Larry that he watched him that much and really kind of focused on Magic and what they were doing and stuff like that. Very interesting to me.
Will there ever be another one like that, a rivalry like that individual?
Well, probably, yes. I mean, just because of the evolution of the game. But I've always said those two guys right there, not to take any way away from Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, all those guys right there kick-started the new NBA.
Yep.
Those two guys right there, I always give them a personal thank you every time I see them. Michael took it to another level. But these guys, to me, they're like Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer of golf. They took it to a whole nother level.
What the one thing that you always hear about in music, people crossing over. Larry Bird was the first crossover white basketball player. I grew up in Queens, New York, and you'd see Larry Bird jerseys. Like, you never saw that. You see, you would expect to see Magic, but in New York City, you would see Larry Bird. So he was the reverse crossover. And I think that because of his, people appreciate what he did and how he did it, more how he did it. Not even what he did, but how he did it. And you say, I could be that guy. If I work hard, if I could shoot the basketball like that, I could move without the ball, I could play that type of game. So he was so infectious for fans all over the world.